Moon Dancer. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to my channel. This is a part 2, kind of, to Coven versus Solitary that I did this last time. This video is going to be if you chose Coven. So there's a few things that you'll want to think about when trying to find a coven that fits you. To start off with, I would make a list of things that you're looking for in a coven, like do you mind if it's mixed gender, or do you prefer a single sex coven of, you know, whether you're male or female? Do you prefer a coven that is highly active or only meets 1 or 2 times a month? Do you prefer a coven that focuses on celebrating and fun, or one that focuses on learning and spirituality? Those are just some things to think about. You know, make you a list, put it in a journal or record it in your book of shadows. You know, whatever you prefer, just make sure you have it on hand so you can always use it as a reference. In general, a coven holds or has about 3 to 13 members. Traditionally anyway, the minimum is 5. From what I've read, when a coven reaches 13, some of them split into 2 different covens. I guess, you know, I could understand that. If it gets too big, well, I don't know. I can just see why they wouldn't want a coven, you know, to get real big. And, you know, 13 seems like a good number, right? If you live in the city, you're likely to find several covens. That actually shouldn't be a problem, you know, in your city areas. If you live in a rural area, well, you'll be lucky to find 1 coven, and you're probably most likely gonna have to drive like 2 hours to get to it. So in a rural area, it's gonna be harder to find one, but you know, what can I say? It's kind of self-explanatory there. Some places that you could look, your local metaphysical store. You can ask the owner if they know of any nearby covens. If you go to a local pagan festival, you can ask the merchants there if they know of a coven that nearby, close to your area. There's also networking. I read a little bit about witchbox.com. You're supposed to be able to find nearby covens, or even just solitary witches, and like, it's just a good place to find like-minded people and people that practice the craft. I have been on it briefly, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, so, you know, you guys have to check it out. Let me know how it is. Once you have found a coven, ask about their traditions. Do not be afraid to ask questions, you know. ask about their traditions, what deity they like to work with. Yeah, just ask them a lot of questions, because, I mean, you're going to want to know what you're getting into, you know. And some covens, you know, they may not, they may be closed for new members and tell you to, you know, try back later. Other covens, there's a ask me 3 questions tradition that I heard of, that some covens do and still do, because I guess it's kind of an older tradition. But, you know, that's a possibility that they're gonna have questions for you, because, I mean, not only do you need to ask questions to make for sure the coven is right for you, but the coven's gonna ask you questions to make for sure you are right for the coven. So that's gonna work both ways. And that should help get you started on finding a coven. And see, I live in a rural area, so even if I was looking for one, it probably wouldn't be as easy. And I don't know. I actually, in my hometown, personally, I actually know a couple of witches. We're all solitary, because, I mean, it is a small area, and it's just kind of one of those things. You know, we share information and, you know, talk about our craft to each other. But as for a coven, no, there's not one around here that I know of. Guess like I said, I'm not looking for one, so I haven't really tried. There could be, who knows. This next little bit, I'm gonna get into how to create your own coven, because sometimes you just can't find one, so why not create your own? To create your own coven, traditionally you would study for several years with a coven. That's not always possible though, right? They have what they call a 3rd degree system, or 3-degree system. And you would be able to go off and create your own coven when you've received your 2nd degree. Or you would lead a coven under the guidance of the former priest or priestess. This method is called to hive, from my understanding. Now, say you're not in a coven, or you couldn't find one. Well, you can start off like a small study group, spend some time with them, get to know them, and if you're still wanting to put the whole coven idea on the table, when the time is right, you would mention that to them. I highly recommend not just throwing a group together and saying, we're a coven, because then you're gonna have so many differences, because this person's gonna have like this idea, and this person's gonna say, no, let's do the coven like this. There's just so many things that's gonna go wrong with that. So if you're the first leader, you can create the coven based on your wants, your dreams, your traditions, and then find like-minded people. So if you get a small study group together, after you've gotten to know them and you're sure that they're the ones, then you can put this coven idea on the table. I'd present them with a list of your ideas and your decisions and your description of how you want the coven to be. And I'd even put on there whether, you know, like each particular decision, whether it's negotiable or it's set in stone. That way they also have an idea, okay, I can't change this, but this here, you know, we might be able to do a little something different. You just want to make for sure that they have all the details. And your goal should be to have full-fledged members of 3 or more people. Just an estimate anyway. Now, I will tell you, you know, like in the beginning, since you guys are just getting started, you're going to have some rough times. You're going to have bumps and roadblocks in the road. You'll probably lose people. You'll probably gain people. It's probably about that first year that you have to get all your ducks in a row. That's a way of saying it. There you go. Yeah, the first year, not going to be easy. I mean, because once you have all your ducks in a row and you have all your more permanent members, you know, then you can really get started, really become a coven and really become brothers and sisters, or sisters only, you know, whatever. That way you guys, well, can call yourself a coven. There's actually a few books that you can read on creating a coven, and I wrote those down for you. There's Coven Craft, Witchcraft for 3 or More by Amber K. Let's see. There is Wicca Covens, How to Start and Organize Your Own by Judy Harrow. And the third one is Inside a Witch's Coven by Elaine McCoy. Those are just a few books that you can read to help you create your coven. And if you read all 3 of them, you know, you can compare and contrast the different methods, because I imagine all 3 books probably say a little something different. So you guys can, you know, choose whatever methods are right for you and, you know, go from there. So that should help you get started on that. Now, once you're in a coven, whether you've joined one or created your own, life in a coven is similar to a church, except you're not going to have that awkwardness. How you doing? To the person sitting in the pew in front of you. Like, you're not even quite for sure who they are. I guess that in a smaller area, everybody probably knows each other, but like in your bigger cities, there's gonna be people you don't know, and you're just like, hey, how are you? You ain't gonna have to worry about that in a coven, because you you're going to be close to your coven mates. You're going to have a close relationship with them, and you're going to know all of them. So you won't have to worry about that awkwardness in there. And there wouldn't be any inactive members. Like, everybody has a job to do. Like, everybody has their part to play in the coven. So no slacking off. But yeah, especially since it's a smaller group, everybody's gonna have to play their part to keep it running. So it's kind of a big deal there. Let's see. In a coven, or life in a coven, whichever one you want to look at, you're gonna have that second family, like I mentioned in the video before this, whereas you might not have that in other denominations. Like I said, though, in cities, yeah, probably not, because they're so much bigger, so many more members. In a more rural area, yeah, everybody probably knows each other. So there's that. If you don't want to be in a coven and you know it's not for you, but yet you want to have that coven-like feeling, there is a few alternatives that you can that you have as an option. One of those is, for one, the study group or a small group of friends. You know, if you guys are on the same page, that would be an alternative. And then some people, they actually practice the craft as a family. You know, the mother, the dad, the kids, the children. Like, I have seen it before and I've heard about it. You know, it's like the family craft. There's that option too, if that is available to you. And then there's also networking, like I mentioned before, Witchvox. And then there's Amino, and it's got awesome communities in it, like the Hatchling Clan, Pagans and Witches, Unicoven, which, by the way, I'm in all three. Those are some awesome communities in the Amino app, and those links are going to be below for you if you want to come check us out, because we're awesome. But in a way, it's kind of coven-like without the actual coven. It is a good place to learn. I have learned a lot. Like, I have actually just recently celebrated my 2-year anniversary being in the Hatchling Clan. And let me tell you, in the 2 years that I've been with them and been with Pagans and Witches, I have learned so much, and I have met some awesome people, and I highly recommend, if you don't have the Amino app, you should get it and come check us out. All three are awesome. But yeah, those links will be below if you want to come check us out. And those are some alternatives anyway, if you want that coven-like feel but don't want to actually be in a coven. So I hope this video has helped. I'm not in a coven. It's just not for me right now. I don't know if that ever will be. Question mark. Who knows? But if you chose to be in a coven, I hope this video has helped you. And I hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed night, whatever time of day it is for you right now. And I hope to see you guys back with whatever video I do next. And don't forget to dance under the moon.
Into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I've got a premonition that girl's gonna make me fall.